on the job site. Being the signal person for the crane is an important responsibility. It should be the job of the most skilled person, not just the person closest to the load. Good signaling is all about good communication. It doesn't matter if you're using voice or hand signals. It means that the operator and the signal person are on the same page and that they both speak the same language. Everyone who signals a crane should have enough basic training to understand the capabilities of the machine they're working with and the safety issues involved with picking and setting loads. To begin with, only one person at a time signals the crane. This avoids confusion for the crane operator. Having pre-lift meetings is always a good idea, and it's essential if the lift is a critical lift, difficult or unusual. The communication between the operator and the signal person should follow 3 C's: constant, clear, and consistent. The signal person must be in constant communication with the operator. The signal person is a second pair of eyes for the operator. For example, a signal person is required whenever the operator can't see the load or the landing area, can't see the path of travel of the load or the crane, or is far enough away from the load to make judgment of distance difficult. If you're giving hand signals and the operator can't see you, if you're on the radio and can't be heard, at that moment the operator is flying blind and must stop immediately. The first rule of communications for the operator is, if you don't know, don't go. For hand signals, find a position where you're never out of sight of either the crane or the load. If you're on the radio and it goes silent, the operator may think the connection was broken.
Load down 40 feet.
One technique to remedy this is to start a movement, telling the operator how far it will be, then count down by tens until you get to 10.
20 feet. Load down, 10 feet.
And then by ones until you give stop at 0.
4, 3, 2, 1, stop.
If, for any reason, your signals are not clearly understood, the operator is required to stop immediately. If you're giving hand signals, visibility is critical. You have to clearly stand out from the background and be distinguishable from people around you. A high contrast vest, hard hat, and gloves are an excellent idea. You should hold your hands away from your body and use big, clear motions that can be seen from a distance. If you're using a radio, make sure that you have a dedicated channel with good reception and no interference or interruptions. A garbled message is no message at all. The whole purpose of giving a signal is to achieve a specific result. You need the load to move 2 feet to the left. If you're inconsistent in the way you give a signal or the way you request a crane move, it's easy for the operator to misunderstand. Don't get creative. The hand signals for controlling crane operations were developed so that there would be a consistent way to communicate every important crane maneuver. When giving any hand signal, your job is to look like the picture on the signal chart. Never modify hand signals to give them your personal style or to try to make them look cool. Each signal means only one thing and should produce the same result, regardless of who is signaling or who is operating the crane. Here are some of the most important hand signals.
To raise the load, keep your arm away from your body. From a distance, the operator sees you as an outline, and the shape of your arm is a clue to the signal you're using. Point your finger and just move your hand to make a small circle. To lower the load, rotate your elbow and make the same gesture. Don't let your arm hang down at your side. To boom up, keep your arm out and your hand closed. The operator has to clearly see the position of your thumb, and that can be a challenge if your fingers are out too. Reverse the position of your thumb to boom down. Keep in mind, the thumb is used here for boom movement. Don't use your thumb for signals where it doesn't belong.
This combination is used to move the load horizontally toward the crane. Some cranes can't do these combination moves at all, so be aware of your equipment before you request it. This will move the load horizontally away from the crane. Understand that the load may not move perfectly horizontal with these two signals. It may move up or down at the same time. Notice that the finger flex may start and stop to indicate when hoist or lower is engaged. Extend your whole arm and point with your finger in the direction you want the crane to swing. This has the same shape as the boom signal, so be sure to keep your thumb out of the way. Reverse the gesture to swing in the opposite direction. Avoid pointing across your body. With your fists closed in front of you, opposing thumbs indicate extending the boom. Reverse the position of your thumbs to have the boom retract. If one hand is occupied, point your thumb to your chest to extend the boom. To retract the boom, point your thumb outward and tap the heel of your fist to your chest. You can modify any of the motion signals to request slower crane movements. Hold your other hand motionless in front of the hand giving the motion signal. Stop is the most important hand signal because of its safety function. Yet a lot of people get it wrong, using a closed fist instead. Properly executed, as you see here, stop is a big gesture that's easy to see and can't be mistaken for anything else. Because of a crane's momentum, good operators will always execute a stop gradually. But an emergency stop means slam on the brakes. Because this can put stress on the crane, it's used only in an emergency. These two signals, stop and emergency stop, are critical to safe crane operation and should be familiar to everyone on the site, even if it's never their job to signal the crane. The operator will take these signals immediately from anyone. The operator and the signal person are responsible for the lift, but safety is everyone's responsibility.